Hello again, Commander Exigeous here. Let's look at one of the more complex and fun ways to make money, pirating NPCs for low-temperature diamonds. While this doesn't pay as highly as some other endeavors, it is complex, requiring use of the manifest scanner, collector and hatchbreaker limpets, interdictors, and combat. Far more engaging than watching Netflix while you play bus driver. As usual, let's start with outfitting a ship. We're going to need something combat focused, as we'll potentially be tanking a good bit of fire while collecting our booty. As such, I'm going to be using a Python, but any combat ship with space for modules and cargo will work. I'm going to be using an unengineered ship. Obviously, a highly engineered ship will make this far easier. This is another case of it takes money to make money, as this will be harder in a smaller ship. I'll put some builds down below. For some reference, you can make about 2 to 5 million in a Cobra, 10 to 15 million in a Python, and say 15 to 30 million per hour in a cutter or corvette. Now that we're ready, let's find an appropriate system. First, we'll need an agriculture economy to ensure we find targets with low temperature diamonds. Ideally, we'll find them in an anarchy system. However, this isn't absolutely necessary, as we can use a wake scanner to follow them to an anarchy system, but that takes far more time. Fire up EDDB.io, go to Systems, set Government to Anarchy, Primary Economy to Agriculture, and set your reference system. Then select a system with a large population. Once you've arrived in system, it's time to find a target. We're going to be looking for medium to large transport ships such as T6, 7s and 9s, keelbacks, asps, or diamondbacks. I found several T7s and diamondbacks. Once you see a target, check their sub-targets. We're looking for mining lasers. Once you've found an appropriate target, line up behind them so we can rip them from supercruise with our interdictor. Now that you've dropped to normal space, you'll need to get a shot on them as quickly as possible, as yet another bug in game lets them cheat and ignore the FSD cooldown timer. As soon as you land a shot, they'll turn to attack, keeping them in the instance. Here you'll have a few choices. You can try to strip their shields and disable them by taking out their power plant or destroying their weapons. However, if they are above mostly harmless rank, they will reboot and repair, so I've found it best to just tank fire from them. It's now time to start your theft. With them targeted, fire off a hatchbreaker limpet. Note that if they have point defense or ECM, you may need to fire several in quick succession. However, I didn't have too much trouble here. Also know that hatchbreakers penetrate shields. Once your hatchbreaker is on the way, you can start throwing out your collector limpets and open your cargo hatch so you'll start picking things up while hatchbreaking. I came to a near stop to keep them in one general area so the cargo isn't spread all over space. Each hatchbreaker will siphon off several tons of cargo, so depending on the size of their hold, you'll have to repeat this several times. If you have a manifest scanner, you'll need to scan them after each hatchbreaker to find out how much they have left, or just continue to hatchbreak them until you're told they are empty. At this point, you can either ignore them and continue to tank fire, or since we are in anarchy space, just destroy them. As an honorable pirate, possibly an oxymoron, I would rather not kill, but some NPCs give you little choice as they just won't stop shooting. As a bonus, killing them will spawn some engineering materials, which your collectors can also pick up. Quick pro tip: if you have an item targeted, your collector will pick it up, then be destroyed. However, if you have nothing other than a ship selected, they will continue to pick up items until they reach the end of their life. You can also add items to the excluded list, so your collectors will completely ignore them. Repeat this process until you're either out of limpets, chaff, fuel, etc., and have picked up all the cargo in the area. Once you're done, it's time to sell our booty. We'll need to find a station that offers high prices and has a black market. Again, we'll head to EDDB.io and head to Commodities. Select low temperature diamonds, then select sell and enter your current system. If you need a large pad, be sure to set that as well. In the list, find a station that is paying a high price, select it, and confirm it has a black market. Realize that the black market prices will be lower. In my experience, it was about 25% lower. Once you arrive, be sure not to get scanned on your way in, as if you do, you'll be fined heavily for carrying illicit cargo. To avoid the scan, be sure you're moving at more than 200 meters per second, and if you hear ship scan detected, immediately deploy your hardpoints. Once you've broken the scan, stow them quickly so you can throw them out again as needed. Techniques such as silent running can also be employed, but realize that if close enough, an NPC can still scan you when you're silent. Once you've landed, head to Starport Services, Contacts, then Black Market. Select your booty and sell it. Using these methods, I was able to earn roughly 7 million in about 30 minutes in an unengineered Python. With something like a Cobra 3, that would be more in the 2 to 5 million range, with a cutter earning you as much as 20 to 30 million. Again, this is a case of it takes money to make money, and while there are other ways to make money faster and arguably easier, this does offer some challenging gameplay with a reasonable reward. Yes, there is some balance in Elite after all. Hopefully this will have you earning credits while actually enjoying it. Oh, and this is also excellent to do in a wing with one ship handling the target while the other plays sweeper. Sadly, profit sharing when selling is terrible, so you'll want to divvy up the cargo before heading to the black market. Once again, this has been Commander Exegius, reminding you to fly dangerously, and thanks for watching.